do not forgive somebody who has hurt you, then it means you are telling God that deal with me as I've also dealt with that person.
Wow. If I train my child such that he comes out of school and he cannot do an alternative job, then I think as a parent, I am failing.
The midnight that you cannot sleep and thinking about this child, tell yourself, Lord, I hand over this my wayward child unto you.
It is not about the job the person is doing in terms of what we think. But at the end of the day, is it the will of God?
I think that it's very unhealthy for couples to be talking about breaking up and threatening them. It doesn't really solve. If the person is unrepentant, that cannot change it. Start with prayer.
One of the sickness that I pray to God everybody will get one in his life before they die and become a ghost is toothache. One of I don't know if you had toothache before.
I've had it before. You can't sleep.
The anointing doesn't solve it.
No.
Watch Weekend Family Review with Dollarich every Saturday at 8:30 a.m. and a repeat at 7 p.m. Weekend Family Review, bringing the families together and reshaping society for tomorrow's generations.
Wow, welcome to yet another beautiful weekend with us here on GTV Live. You know the program is Weekend Family Review Show right here on GTV Live with me, Johnny called Dollarich. And as we say week after week, we are still bringing the families together and reshaping society for tomorrow's generations. You and your family matter to God, and the family harmony, it is our heartbeat, and that is the more reason why you should call somebody also to call somebody to tune in to watch the program. Now, we still have our WhatsApp line up screen in our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. You know, I have this wonderful guest with me, but we'll take a quick break. When we come, I'll be introducing them even as we do our topic of the week. But remember, call somebody also to call somebody to tune in. The program is Weekend Family Review right here on GTV Live.
When you do not forgive somebody who has hurt you, then it means you are telling God that deal with me as I've also dealt with that person.
Wow. If I train my child such that he comes out of school and he cannot do an alternative job, then I think as a parent, I am failing.
Intercede in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, the midnight that you cannot sleep and thinking about this child. Tell yourself, Lord, I hand over this my wayward child unto you.
It is not about the job the person is doing in terms of what we think. But at the end of the day, is it the will of God? Is that what am I looking at pleasing God or looking at pleasing the people around us?
Once you get into marriage, unless it's a very threatening situation where life and death, is on the line, I think that it's very unhealthy for couples to be talking about breaking up and threatening them. It doesn't really solve. If the person is unrepentant, that cannot change it. Start with prayer.
Watch Weekend Family Review with Dollarich every Saturday at 8:30 a.m. and a repeat at 7 p.m. Weekend Family Review, bringing the families together and reshaping society for tomorrow's generations.
You're welcome back, and thank you so much for staying on, and the program still continues, and it is the Weekend Family Review Show right here on GTV Live. And our core mandate, that is where our passion is. We say we are bringing the families together and reshaping society for tomorrow's generations. We care about you, your family, your relationship, your marriage. We pray that God will always keep you together. We do know that there are so many issues going on out there, but we pray that God's grace will find us together. Now, today we are coming to discuss a very interesting topic, but I have on set with me this wonderful personalities, and I want to go to my immediate left. I have this wonderful and a beautiful woman of God, and she's in the person of Reverend Abena Nyameche of Alive Glory International Ministries, New Fadama. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And how are you? I see you're looking good.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
Yes,
Wow. And on my far left is this wonderful father of mine, and he's been such as, sometimes when I talk about him, I get a bit emotional. He's such a wonderful man, and he's in the person of Reverend Jonas Yautete of Miracle Temple Assemblies of God, Achimota, and also for you're welcome.
Thank you.
It's been a while. We've not met this year, have we?
We've not met this year. This is the first time.
Oh
so.
wow, it's been a. You are looking good though.
Thank you.
You're looking more younger and younger, and you know. Wow. And viewers, thank you so much for staying on. And we want to discuss our topic of the week, and we want to look at external influences and pressures on relationship and on marriages. I mean, external influences and pressures on relationship and on marriages. The people who sometimes talk, I mean, Ahithophel kind of counsel, I mean, you know, give some form of bad advice and all that. We are having so many reports of people having their marriages and relationship on rocks simply because they are not getting the good or the right counseling. But these wonderful persons will help us do this topic. And let me go to, they say the ladies first. And I'll go to Reverend Abena Nyameche. Well, you're welcome once again.
You.
Wow. Let's look at this topic. I mean, it's not bad to have advice from people, but where you have external kind of influences that negatively affect your relationship and marriage, I don't know what you can say for now.
Yeah. I will start with the internal. It has to. The two of you, the couples, should know your stand. You should know what you believe in. You should know what you stand for. So that when the pressures is coming from the external, the two of you, do we want this? Have we discussed this? Is this our vision? Have we talked about this? What is our stand concerning this issue?
Wow.
Okay, so if the internal is so strong, it will be very, very difficult for the external to have a negative influence on them.
Wow.
On the couple.
I don't know. It's going to get quite interesting. And she just made a point that if the internal is well bonded, then the external have no influence at all. Who will look at it? I don't know what you have in there, but Reverend, what would be your take for a start?
Pressures, looking at pressures. And I was saying that it is basically influences that are coming from outside the marriage. It could be parental, where probably the father of the lady thinks that things are not going on the way he thinks it should go. So he tries to come into straighten up things.
That's right.
Or the mother of the young man thinks the way
I think that's where we have most of
the way she was handling the son. This new lady is not handling the son that way, so it must be straightened. So that is one area where these pressures come from. Another one is financial. Probably the lady comes from a home that is a bit well-to-do. You get in touch with this young man who is not able to provide the way she was having. So the father is agitated.
That's right.
Then this issue of delayed childbirth.
That's right.
Where immediately you marry within our African context, especially Ghanaian, within the first few months, everybody is expecting that the lady is pregnant, and after 2-3 months the lady is not pregnant. Nobody understands why. Then parents try to set in. And it could also be religious.
That's right.
Okay? It could also be religious. Even if we're talking about religion, it could as well be denominational.
That's right.
Okay? This person probably is a Catholic, the other one is a Pentecostal, or a charismatic, and parents are, they don't seem to, so all those things contribute to some of those pressures that come on the marriages.
The program still continues, and it is the Weekend Family Review Show right on GTV Live, and we still have our WhatsApp line up screen and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. Just get connected with us. Let's do the show together. We are discussing external pressures and influences on relationship and on marriages, and it's getting quite interesting. Just call somebody to tune in to watch the program. But let me take this opportunity to salute my papa, Bishop Yao Owusu Ansa of Resurrection Power and Living Bread Ministries. I salute you so much, and hello to the family and everybody out there, and also to Bishop Charles Ajinasari and the Parish Chapel, and all my family out there. I mean, you guys are doing awesome. Now let's come to Reverend Abinanyamiche. You made mention earlier concerning to say scripture says that a house which is divided on its own cannot stand. I mean, let's look at it. You said internal. If you are unable to hold yourself together, then you have external forces coming in. How do you handle yourself as part? Because we know that most of the time, you know, in relationship, in marriage, we have these conflicts internally. I mean, you always have issues. So if you don't handle, how do you handle yourself so that you don't get outside influences overriding your personal interest in the home?
Thank you. When Daddy was speaking, he made mention of living for others. You see, when the couples are not allowed to live for themselves, but to live for others, to live just the way my mother lived her life. When the couples are not allowed to live for themselves, but to live for others, then it brings comparison. And comparison brings competition. And competition will bring pressure.
That's right.
Okay. So, back to your question, then the two of us, the couples, what do we want?
That's right.
Before we came together, what was the agreement? If the childbearing is not coming, the two of us, are we supporting ourselves? Are we believing God that one day we know God will visit us? So if the two of us, we agreed and we are one in spirit, it doesn't matter what the in-laws will say, what friends would do. We know what we are in for, and we are standing with each other. As for the pressures, it will come.
That's right.
As long as we belong to a family, we are in a nation, the pressures will come. But the two of us, let's band together. Let's have our stand. What do we believe? As a matter of fact, we are going to fight the pressures that is going to come. For instance, just as what our daddy said, if my mother-in-law is requiring for her grandchild, when are you going to give me a grandchild?
What is taking you too long?
What is taking you too long? My husband knows that she has to support me in this thing that I'm going through. So if I have the support of my husband, it doesn't matter what my in-law will do to me. I can stand. I can figure out something. I can go to my grandma. Grandma, we are believing God. In-law, we are believing God. I know in God's own time He will visit us. Because I know I have a support.
That's right.
I know my husband is with me. I know my wife is with me. So, though the pressures, it will come. But I know one day, the Lord will vindicate
so
us.
So it's a matter of if your spouse is fully with you in support of whatever is happening, then you wouldn't have too much trouble dealing with some of these external forces. Now, Reverend, let's look at it. You made mention of some of the examples, and let's look at it where your in-laws especially are looking out for something, you know, like they brought their son up in a way or their daughter up in a way, and they have an expectation that, oh, at least my daughter should by now after marriage should go this way, or my son should be going this way, but things are not going the way, and they come in and they want to so to say give directives. You know, they want, okay, do this, don't do this. No, why is this? Why is that? When things are going this way, being a father, what will you say?
Let me add another this thing to the first thing I said. I think maybe that will also help.
That's right.
And another dimension is the cultural dimension.
That's right. That's right.
In this thing. Okay.
Yes.
We have a culture where when you marry, you said you are married to a family.
That's right.
Okay. I believe the understanding is good, but the effect of that is not. Okay. The effect of it is that you can be there and your sister-in-law comes to the house and say you are married to us, and she tries to assume the position of the husband.
That's right.
Okay. She tries to do what she thinks she must do. She thinks she has a right to her brother.
That's right. It's my brother that you are married to.
Exactly.
I mean, so yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So because of that kind of perceived rights, she wants to do things the way she wants.
Maybe some of our viewers don't seem. Let me polish it a bit more. You see, there are some who come virtually say you are staying in my brother's house. Yes, it's
I'm
my
married to us.
Yeah. So when you are getting some of these things in your own, Daddy, what do you do?
Yes. I'll come there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll come there. So that's what I'm saying. So that's a cultural dimension itself is very problematic. The understanding may be good.
That's right.
But the effect it has on some of the marriages is very, very negative, especially where probably your sisters or your siblings thinks that you have some responsibility towards them which you have to perform.
That's
and
right.
you're not performing it, and they seem to see your wife looking nice. How should
their brother's
your
manager.
wife look nice? And so all
right.
those things bring some of those negative influence, right? But I totally agree with Rev about I think she's talking about how to handle those things.
Yeah.
Right? My understanding is that you are this is my wife, right? All other people are a third party to this marriage.
That's right.
Okay? What the two of us decide, that is what must be done.
That's right.
It's not what somebody is saying. Okay? So that understanding must be there, that I am married to you. For me, I don't understand that I'm married to a family. Honestly, I don't have that understanding. My understanding is that I am married to this woman.
That's right.
Any other thing that I can do to help others, I will do it.
That's right.
When I have the opportunity. After all, we even help people who are not related to us.
That's right.
Okay? So I can give any help to anybody, including my family members, when I have it. But the number one person, as far as I am concerned, who has to be satisfied, who has to be listened to, is my spouse.
That's right.
And once we have that understanding, like Rev is saying, it helps you to protect each other. There is a serious need, especially from the man, to protect the wife.
That's right.
Okay? For me, I don't see how anybody could walk into my house and talk to my wife anyhow because he's related to me. You can't do it. My wife knows that you can't do it.
That's right.
You can't do it. And I have had situations where my wife stood and literally fought for me. Okay? Anyway, because to her, this is the husband.
That's right.
So the first understanding is the two of us. If you are bringing anything that will negatively impact on us, we are not ready for it. We are not.
Wow.
So, just like Mami is saying, the mindset, the understanding that we are standing by each other, we are standing together. It takes care of a lot of problems.
But going further, is that the case? I mean, talking about the fact that we need each other. I mean, the understanding of you are my wife, I'm your husband, and we should be one in our thinking and in everything that we do, in order to be able to, so to say, cut off some of these forces or the pressures that come from outside. There are a couple of people, you meet them, and they rather side even with outsiders as against their spouses. When you're in a situation like that, what do you do?
To be frank with you, when you are in a situation like that, because when you gave me this topic, I was going through and I was just doing some thinking, and I came to find out that, you see, Abraham and Sarah. And Sarah, I believe Sarah was under pressure.
That's right.
So it got to a time, you see, God has promised us that he's going to give us a child. And over 20 years, that promise has not yet been fulfilled. And I believe people were looking up to Sarah. So can't you do something?
So
won't you go somewhere? Won't you do something? And it got to a point, Sarah also, you see, she was discouraged.
That's
and
right.
she ran to the husband and said, after all, this is my maid. This is my maid. You can go into her, and probably God wants to give us a child through her.
That's right.
You see. So when we are not able to stand with each other, but one is like one is discouraged somehow, and
right.
one is excited with the family and so on and so forth. It rather brings or compound the problem.
That's right.
Rather, because if the two of us, Bible says, can two work together except they agree.
Right.
So if the agreement is not there, if the two of us, we don't have this mindset that we are going to stand together no matter what happens, though we are believing God for this, though we want to get to this top, this level, but it's like for now we are facing challenges and the thing is not there. If the two of us are not able to stand together and one happens to be discouraged and one happens to join the family or the other party, then it becomes very difficult. It becomes very difficult because Bible says one shall chase 1,000 and two shall chase 10,000.
That's right.
So together with our strength, with our faith, with our prayers, I believe that the problem will be solved quicker than one fighting a whole family and even back to you, the man, or back to you, the woman, you see. So I believe it becomes very, very difficult. And the only solution we normally say, you go to God in prayers and read your Bible, strengthen yourself, and believe God that God will see you through.
Yes.
Let me say that is a basic, if it's a foundational problem, a serious one. If my wife and I cannot come together and handle external pressure, it's a serious foundational problem. It is either I don't even have a proper understanding of marriage. The Bible said you will leave your mother and father and become one.
That's right.
Okay? One. So the first thing is your oneness before you take care of others. Okay? So it's a serious foundational problem. And once that problem is there, if you are not careful, divorce will be the only option. It's a serious foundational problem. Okay? Because if my daughter will side with me, it means against the husband.
Yeah.
It means what I will tell my daughter, that is what she will do. I'll give you an example. lady was having problem with the husband. And the husband was trying to go after other girls. And the lady went to the father-in-law. And so this is what my husband is doing. The father-in-law said that in our home, we don't marry one.
I've heard these stories somewhere before.
We don't marry one. So
There's
he's
nothing
not
wrong
doing
with it.
anything wrong.
It's no news at all.
Yeah.
A father-in-law.
Yeah. So apparently, it's the father-in-law who is even
Engineering
the whole thing. Okay. So the son knows the father, his father is encouraging him to do the stupid thing, and he has agreed with the father, and he's doing it. There is no, unless grace comes into this issue, you either as a woman sit there and endure till you die, or you back out.
That's right.
Okay. So these issues are foundational problems. There are some of these things are cultural. Okay. There are some homes, like you're saying, how do you marry one wife?
It doesn't make sense to them. I mean, then you are not even a man. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So you see, talking about the foundational process, some of we need to look at all some of these things before we marry. We don't just jump into marriage. So there are foundational problems which, when we don't handle them, and like I say, love is blind. You see a man, you see a woman, and somebody say love is blind to those who do not care to see.
That's right.
Right. You think, oh, this is the young man, especially, unfortunately, our ladies, when they are getting of age a little, it's like they are ready for anything.
They become very vulnerable.
For me, I would prefer a lady to stay alone and have a peace of mind than to jump into something she calls a marriage, which will derail her life totally. Give her psychological problems. Some will go and commit suicide. Some a whole lot of things. So there are basic foundational problems that anybody who is marrying must carefully look into before he goes into the marriage. Other than that, you come and realize that this is a man who side with the parents, or this is a woman who side with the parents. I know of another person, a young man working very alpha went work, good work. The young man has a single account with his mother and not the wife.
This is serious.
It's terrible.
Wow.
So it means before I give my wife money, my mother
have to approve. Append her signature.
So there are foundational issues which, when we don't look at it properly, we jump into this so-called idea of marriage, then we begin to suffer.
And at times you would think it's only the father, the mother, the in-laws, but at times friends, friends can have influence on you to the point that they can advise you what to do at home, what to do with your wife. Oh, this thing there. And most of the times it's like what we are saying. When the two of us cannot sit at home to discuss our own things, our own issue, then the woman take it out. Or the man take it out to friends. Look at what my wife did. Oh, is that so? If I were to be frank, if I were you, I would slap her. I would
teach her a lesson.
I would teach her a lesson. So at times,
put her where she belongs.
Yes, I will let her know she's a woman.
Are you not a man? Prove to her you are the man.
Yes.
Are you not the one who married her?
You see, so at times
serious,
friends also have a negative influence on our relationships and marriages. Yeah.
This is serious. The program still continues, and it is the Weekend Family Review Show right here on GTV Live. And we say we are bringing the families together and reshape society for tomorrow's generation. This is our command. This is our heartbeat. If you are listening carefully, there are so many things which we call foundational problems. Sometimes we don't handle them properly, and we end up destroying homes and families and relationships. But let's ask for God's grace. Call somebody also to call somebody to watch this program. And you know what? We still have our WhatsApp line up screen and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. Just get connected with us. Let's do the show together. Let me ask my next question. Now, let's look at this. This issue, I know a whole lot of families and homes are battling with it because you like we are rightly saying, you have some family members kind of having a toll on some brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws, and the marriages are not really going the way they ought to go. Talking about an example Daddy just said concerning even a man or a woman who at the end of the day will even decide for the son as to what to do before even the man will take a decision in the marriage. If you allow your family, no matter the bond you have with your mother or your father, if you allow your brothers and sisters to have a toll on you as a man or as a woman, which is adversely affecting your marriage, where are you heading?
You are heading towards destruction. You find out that at the end of the day, you are not living for yourself, but you are living for them. And as long as you are not living for yourself, but you are living for them, which what is good for them may not be good for you, you will end up causing problems in your home. In your home. So, to me, I normally say that you, the man, especially the man, because you are the head of the family. So if you, the man, you are the head of the family, you are the pastor of the home, the shepherd, the priest, you determine how the home should be built.
That's right.
How the home should go. Call your wife. This is our home. This is what we want to live. What Mr. So-and-so is saying, what Mrs. So-and-so is saying, what friends are saying, though at times you may need them, and at times some of the advice that they give at times is good, because as long as we come from a family, there's no way we are going to do away with them. But anything that will bring negative influence on our home, we are not going to allow it. We are not going to allow it. Okay, so you, the man, should be strong enough to know the kind of home that you want.
That's right.
The kind of a family that you two want to build, because your parent has already built their own family, and that is their standard. But you have your own standard. You have your own vision. You have your own plan. Please live your life.
Let me knock at you. Reverend, you said something earlier, quite interesting. You see, where you kind of go into a marriage with somebody who the family, the background, they have some culture. We married 2, married 3 is a very normal thing. And you find yourself in there, and the influence is coming in. And you see the man now going after other women, and to the family it's very normal because the uncles had 4 or 5 women, the father himself also had, and it is having a toll on you as a woman. When you come across such a thing and you are negatively affected, what do you do? Where do you go? How do you live your life?
Yeah, it's still boiled down to this kind of understanding that marriage, having a proper understanding of marriage, the Bible makes it clear, a man shall live and cleave to the wife, and they become one. Okay, and then say we live and cleave to wives. Okay, so there is the need for that proper understanding of the man. But if it is a cultural problem, like we just mentioned. At times, what happens in marriages is that we compound the problem that is coming from outside. Okay, for instance, this young man is trying to play double game. He has the support of the father or parents,
the brothers
okay,
and the sisters. And
he has the support of them to play that double game. Now, you, the wife, what do you do? Two things. You could either compound the problem or prayerfully and wisely get a solution to it. Okay. Compounding it is to now let the man know that I'm also there. Try and bring the woman. I'll fight every woman you bring around. Okay. For him, he's not doing anything wrong. So if you want to fight them, okay, go and fight them. So you're compounding the problem. But if you, the woman, you show more love, okay, try to talk the man to understand, telling him the effects of polygamy and the toll it's having on you, the woman. Any man who really love the wife will think twice about these things. So the woman must not compound the problem, but lovingly, prayerfully try to see how you can draw the husbands. It goes both ways. Try to see how you can draw your spouse attention to the fact that no, what you are doing is having a very negative effect on me. It's going to have a negative effect on our children.
That's right.
And all that. And once the man or the woman understands this, it will begin to cool things down. You know, some men have gotten involved in serious polygamy, right? Not polygamy. Look, you know, I mean double games. Like double games, okay.
That's right.
But along the line, their eyes will be, oh no, what I'm doing, I am harming my wife and my children, and they stop.
That's right.
And some stop completely.
That's right.
So, and it is as a result of the internal beauty of the woman, like the Bible will put it. That internal
the
beauty is what
spirit.
that helps the man to get out of it. Okay, I know a lady who told me that she has been treating STDs always, sexually transmitted disease always. This is a wife whose husband goes out a lot and he brings the sickness to the wife.
And she has to battle with it.
You see? So this is a good opportunity. No, my dear, you see what is happening to me? Do you want to destroy me? I mean, some of these nice ways of handling issues will help rather than putting on the gloves and say, okay,
and showing that you two
I'm also there. It wouldn't help.
That's right.
It wouldn't help. So when problems come from outside, the internal resolution, the mechanism should be such that I want to solve this problem rather than compounding the problem. Because when you compound it, already you are suffering because of what is happening. So when you compound it, you suffer more.
And another thing is,
that's right.
You have to know that the person who is doing that needs help.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
Yeah, for him, he does not know that he needs help. He thinks he's the man or she's the woman and she's right or he's right. But you on the other side, you have to know that your partner needs help. He needs help. So you are going to pray for him. You are going to do serious intercession for him or her. And just as our daddy said, with good talk, good talks, with humility, with that kind of beauty inside you, because you have to recognize that though he's doing this thing to help, to hurt you, but he himself, he needs help.
Yeah, he's hurting himself as well.
Yeah. He needs help.
For all you know, it's all not that physical. For all you know, there's some spiritual influences on the person and all that. Wow. The program still continues, and it is the Weekend Family Review Show right here on GTV Live. And as we said earlier, we still have our WhatsApp line up screen and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. Just get connected with us. Let's do the show together. We are discussing external influences on relationship and on marriages, and it's getting quite interesting in here. Let me find out from this, Reverend Jamiche. When a man or a woman, so to say, have internal issues and carry it to the parents, to the family house, to the home where he or she is coming from, and they also kind of like contribute to it, like, okay, do it this way, do it that way, and he comes or she comes and she wants to so apply it or put it into practice. What does it make of the man or the woman? I'm asking this question because there are some people, when they have issues in their homes, they will not go to a counselor, they will not go. The best person they feel they have to talk to is their mother or their father or their brother or their sister. What do you make of such people?
Yeah. What I would say is, if couples will have issues, first of all, let's talk about it. The two of us, let's talk about it. Then let's talk to God. Okay, let's talk to God about it in prayers. Then when we see that the thing is beyond our control, we've been praying about it, we've been talking about it, and still the thing is not working, because one is taking what is happening at home, he's taking it outside, and it's bringing bad influence on our marriage. So first of all, we've talked about it, it's not working. We've talked to God, though I won't say we've talked to God that it's not working. No, but God does things in his own time.
That's right.
So whilst we are still praying and waiting for God to answer us, are we Christians? Are we Christians? Do we go to church? Do we have a pastor? Do we believe in our pastor? Do we have the confidence in our pastor that this thing that we are going through, at least we can discuss it with our pastor so that he also can step in, either through counseling or through prayers or whatever. If we believe in our pastor, we are Christians, then I believe our pastor is the next. Because when you see the rankings, when you see authorities, God first, then your spiritual father is the next before your biological father. That is the ranking. So I believe if somebody is going out there to, being badly influenced and is bringing it on our relationship, if the two of us, we've talked about it, if we've prayed and still the thing is still pounding, then I believe the next person that we need to consult is our pastor. Our pastor for counseling. And people don't believe in counseling, but at times counseling works. At times it works, provided you know the kind, the person where to go. Yes, a right counselor to go to, the person you're approaching, you know that person is good and he can give you a good advice. Yeah. And by saying that, I will also say that even if we've done all these things, the two of us, are we willing? Are we willing to learn? Are we willing to accept what will come out of it? Because I've seen a lot of people, they go through counseling and it's like they come back home and say, oh, maybe what the man said, I'm not going to take it to.
It's even worse.
It's even worse. So the two of us should be able to work and know that we want solution. We want solution. This is what we want.
Wow. It comes back to can two work together except they agree? So the agreement, some understanding to work together should be there. Reverend, you want to say something? With the issue of counseling,
we have to be very careful. 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 I think any couple, in fact, counseling must be done a lot of the time. If the couple have been a problem, the two of them must be counseled, not one.
One on one, yes.
One of the biggest problems we have with counseling is we see counseling as an advice. Counseling is not advice. Pieces of advice here and there. That is not counseling. Counseling is bringing the people to the understanding of the situation they find themselves in and helping them to propose a solution to the problem. Once that is done, the problem will be solved, unless they are not ready to solve it. Okay. Okay. Now, back to one other thing I want to say. There is nothing wrong if my child should mention the difficulty she's having in her marriage to me.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. The only thing I will not encourage is she runs to me with every issue.
That's right.
Because when you are running home with every issue, then how will you learn to solve problems? So how will you learn to solve problems? So it's not every issue you should run home with. Okay. But there is absolutely nothing wrong when you tell your parents, particularly, you know, we are talking about wrong influence, negative influence.
That's right.
It is not every parent that negatively influence.
That's right.
We have made this whole thing to look like once the issue gets home,
to bring back. That's right.
It's look, I can tell you there are situations where some ladies have fought with their husbands, they packed their things and brought to home, and the mother will say that you will not sleep in this home today. You will go back.
That's right. And they will send you.
And they will send them back. To send them back. So the idea should not be created as if all parents are that domineering and they would want
ready to break homes.
No,
that's right.
So it's not wrong, but it must be such that the couple themselves try to learn how to solve their own problem. So you don't run home every day. You don't run to your pastor every day. You don't run to a counselor every day. No. Oh, there will be issues here and there every day. Some very serious. But you will be able to sit down, think through. The Holy Spirit is with you. God is with you. You think through, like Mami is saying, God is the first source. You go to God, help me to solve this problem. God will help you.
Wow.
When it becomes something that you are still battling with, that you cannot handle, I agree. The next person is a pastor that you can trust. I've ever said it on this program, and I'm emphasizing that. A pastor that you can trust. A trustworthy pastor. Because some of those people, when they go, they compound the problem for you. You compound the problem.
Imagine a situation where a woman has a problem with the husband, and instead of a pastor helping her out, the pastor end up sleeping with her on top of it.
Yes. So okay, is it a sexual problem? Let me solve it for you. Solve it for you. Okay. And some will even tell you to leave. Some of the advice they'll give you will compound.
Walk away. If he doesn't respect you, just leave him alone. You know?
So I keep on emphasizing that it must be a trustworthy pastor, a pastor whose own marriage is working. And he will show you how he's worked.
That's right.
Not the young man there, or who is some old pastors to do, who is beating his own wife there. Then you will go and say, oh, this is my problem. You call the beat her boy. A trustworthy pastor
That's right.
should be consulted, and if you are still not too sure, a trained counselor is, especially a Christian trained counselor. The whole idea of a counselor is to help you.
That's right.
Counselors, proper counselors don't take, trained counselors don't take sides.
That's right.
Will never take any side. The person is in there to help you solve your problem.
That's right.
So when it comes that way, a trained counselor too works. When you need your parents, especially when you know that your parents, like this, some of this cultural thing we spoke about, if it will influence your parents' judgment, don't go there. If it will influence your parents' judgment,
don't go there.
Don't go there.
Wow.
Because it will also compound the problem. So once there is a problem, make sure you don't end up compounding the problem in dealing with anybody. Either the pastor, your own spouse, your parents. It should not be compounded. But let us understand that there are parents who are only looking for the good of their children.
That's right.
So when there is a problem, they too can talk about it and help solve the problem. Yeah.
A word of advice.
A word of advice. My advice today is, please, it is the two of us who are living together under one roof, one bed, one home. We are building our own family. Let us agree. Let us stand with each other.
Wow.
Let's support one another.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter the challenges that you are going through. If the two of us, we agree, we stand together, we support each other, we will see through, and the Lord will help us.
Wow.
Amen.
Reverend.
If we say we are married, let us stay married. We shouldn't.
Simple as that.
Yeah. We shouldn't allow a third party to destroy our marriage. If along the line we even detect a foundational problem in our marriage, let us see how best we can solve it. We should make sure we don't compound marital problem. Else, we'll help outsiders to destroy us.
Wow. I want to say a big thank you to Reverend Jonas Yautete for passing through the program. Rev, I'm grateful. Thank you so much for coming.
For being here too.
Wow. And my very own Reverend Abenanya Meche, thank you so much. It's been such an awesome time. And viewers, thank you so much for being part of the show today. And let me take this opportunity to let you know our Redeeming the Family Glory prayer time. You know, it's just an extension of what we do here. We do know that there are so many issues that physically we cannot see. So therefore, we'll go on our knees and pray for the family. And that is why you should join us anytime we are coming to pray. On the 16th, we are meeting at the Lord's Tabernacle, ICGC, at Chimota, Abofu, to pray for the family. So join us even as we pray for our marriages, our relationships, for our children, our home. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. It's going to be awesome. Finally, to Solid Rock Chapel, North Kanishin, Reverend Josephine Aqua. Every month we'll be having an all night with you, and it's been such an, it's getting wild. It's getting wild. Take this opportunity. 28, we are meeting there to pray all night. Join us. We are coming to pray and break some things for your family. We'll see you same time next week, but I salute all my engineers, my crew, my sound man, cameramen, and my floor managers, and everybody who supported this program. Thank you. We'll see you same time next week. But remember, God is still on his throne. You will never fail. You will never be defeated. Trust me, whatever you are going through, it is nothing before God. Because he says, he made the heavens and the earth and everything therein. Is anything too hard for him? Jeremiah 32 verse 17. God is there for us. We shall overcome. God bless you.